The angular measurements are frequently necessary for the manufacture of interchangeable parts. The ships and aeroplanes can navigate confidently without the help of a sight of the land, only because of the precise angular measurements. Precise angular measuring devices can be used in astronomy to determine the relationship of the stars and their approximate distances. The angle is defined as the opening between the two lines which meet at a point. If one of the two lines is moved around a point in an arc, a complete circle can be formed. The basic unit in angular measurement is the right angle, which is defined as the angles between the two lines which intersect so as to make the adjacent angles equal. If a circle is divided into 360-degree parts and each part is called as a degree, each degree is divided in 60 minutes and each minute is again into 60 seconds. This method of defining angular units is called as sexagesimal system, which is used for engineering purposes. An alternative method of defining angle is based on the relationship between the radius and arc of a circle. It is called as a radian. Radian is defined as the angle subtended at the center by an arc of a circle of a length equal to its radius. It is more widely used in mathematical investigation. 2 pi radian is equal to 360 degree gives 1 radian is equal to 57.2958 degrees. There are many instruments which can be used for measuring the angles. The selection of an instrument to be used for angular measurements depends upon the components and the accuracy of measurement required. For example, the ordinary bevel protractor with vernier scale can read up to the 2.5 minutes accuracy, and the optical protractor is accurate up to 2 minutes. These are usually not adequate for metrological work and for high precision work to within a few seconds. To obtain these fine accuracies for high precision work, use is made of a sine bar, angle gauges, and optical instruments. The spirit level and the dividing head are also employed. The following instruments are generally used for angular measurement. First, vernier bevel protractor. Second, optical bevel protractor. Third, universal bevel protractor. Fourth, sine bar. Fifth, angle gauges. Sixth, clinometer. 7, angle decker. 8, attocalometer. The vernier bevel protractor is the simplest angle measuring instrument. It consists of a main body, base plate stock, adjustable blade, circular plate containing vernier scale, and acute angle attachment. Figure shows a bevel protractor with acute angle attachment. The body of the vernier bevel protractor is designed in such a way that its back is flat and there are no projections beyond its back. The flatness of the body is tested by checking the squareness of the blade with respect to base plate when the blade is set at 90 degree. The base plate is attached to the main body and an adjustable blade is attached to a circular plate containing vernier scale. The main scale graduated in degrees is provided on the main body. The adjustable blade is capable of rotating freely about the center of the main scale. Engraved on the body of the instrument can be locked in any position. An acute angle attachment is provided at the top of, as shown in the figure, for measuring the acute angles. The base of the base plate is made flat so that it could be laid flat upon the work and any type of angle measured. The blade can be moved along throughout its length and can also be reversed. It is about 150 to 300 millimeter long, 13 millimeter wide and 2 millimeter thick. Its ends are beveled at angles of 45 degree and 60 degree. The acute angle attachment can be readily fitted into the body and clamped in any position. The bevel protractor are tested for flatness, squareness, parallelism and straightness. The least count of a bevel protractor is of 5 minutes.
bevel protractor. In this video, we see about the parts and function of bevel protractor. This is the 3D model of bevel protractor. The main parts of bevel protractor are main scale, vernier scale, blade, base. It is free to rotate about fulcrum and can be clamped at a desired angle with a nut. It consists of a protractor disc carrying degrees, reading from 0 to 90 degrees on either side of an arc. A bevel protractor is used to check angles up to an accuracy of 5 minutes. Application of bevel protractor. In this video, we are going to see the application of bevel protractor. For example, take a photo frame and place the angular side in between the base, that is body, and blade of the bevel protractor. We can find out the measurement by the coinciding the main scale and vernier scale. For instance, take a small bucket to find out the angle. Universal bevel protractor. In this video, we are going to see universal bevel protractor. The constructive parts are similar to bevel protractor. For example, check a part and the part is set against the base, and with the lock nut loosened this plate, then it is brought down into contact with the far side of the part. After that, the reading is taken off from the scale. Further, in a closer view, we are going to see the coinciding the main scale and vernier scale for different examples consecutively.
Sine bar is a precision instrument used along with the slip gauges for the measurement of an angle. Sine bar is used. Sine bar is used to measure the angles very accurately, to locate the work to a given angle within a very close limits. Sine bar consists of a steel bar and two rollers. The sine bar is made of a high carbon, high chromium corrosion resistant steel, suitably hardened, precision ground and stabilized. The rollers are of accurate and equal diameters. They are attached to a bar at each end. The axes of these rollers are parallel to each other and also to the upper surface of the bar. The normal distance between the axes of the roller is exactly 100, 200 or 300 millimeter. When the rollers are brought in contact with the flat surface, the top of the bar is parallel to the surface. The various parts are hardened and stabilized before grinding and lapping. All the working surfaces of the bar and the cylindrical surfaces are fine to the surface finish of a 0.2 micron RA value or better. Sine bars are graded as A grade or B grade sine bars. A grade sine bar are made with an accuracy of 0.01 millimeter per meter of length, and B grade sine bars with an accuracy of 0.02 millimeter per meter length. The principle of operation of a sine bar is based on the laws of trigonometry. To set a given angle, one roller of the bar is placed on the surface plate and the combination of slip gauges is inserted under the second roller. If h is the height of the combination of slip gauges and L is the distance between the roller centers, then by trigonometry the sine angle, that is a sine theta, is equal to h by L, or theta is equal to the sine inverse of h by L. Thus the angle to be measured or to be set is determined by indirect method as a function of a sine. For this reason, the device is called as a sine bar. If a sine bar is to be accurate, then the following conditions relating to its constructional features must exist. First, the axes of the rollers must be parallel to each other and the center distance L must be known. The size of the bar is specified by this distance. The top surface of the bar must have a high degree of flatness. It should be parallel to a plane containing the axis of the rollers. The rollers must be of identical diameters and round within a closed tolerance. The use of a sine bar. First, locating any work to a given angle. To set the given angle, the surface plate is assumed to be perfectly flat so that the surface can be treated as a horizontal. One roller of the sine bar is placed on the surface plate and a combination of slip gauges is inserted under the second roller. Let h be the height of a slip gauge combination and the sine is to be set an angle theta. Then sine theta is equal to h by L, where L is the distance between the centers of the rollers. Thus, knowing the theta, h can be found out and any work could be set at this angle. As the top face of the sine bar is inclined at an angle theta to the surface plate. For measuring unknown angle, it is necessary to first find the angle approximately with the help of a bevel protractor. The sine bar is then set up at that nominal angle on a surface plate by a suitable combination of slip gauges. The component to be checked is placed over the surface of the sine bar. The dial gauge is then set at one end of the work and moved along the upper surface of the component. If there is a variation in parallelism of the upper surface of the component and the surface plate, it is indicated by the dial gauge. The combination of the slip gauges is so adjusted that the upper surface of the component is truly parallel with the surface plate. The angle of the component is then calculated by the relation, that is theta is equal to sine inverse of h by L. The perfect adjustment of a slip gauge combination requires too much time. So the variation in the parallelism of the upper surface of the component and the surface plate indicated by dial gauge is converted into corresponding angular variation. If dx is the variation in parallelism over a distance x, the corresponding variation in angle theta is equal to the sine inverse of dx by x, and approximate or a nominal angle theta is equal to the sine inverse h by L. When the component is of a large size or a heavy, In such cases, the component is placed over a surface plate. The sign bar is placed over the component as shown in the figure. The height over the rollers can then be measured by a vernier height gauge. Using a dial test gauge mounted on the anvil of a height gauge to ensure constant measuring pressure. The anvil of a height gauge is adjusted with a probe of a dial test gauge showing the same reading for the topmost position of the rollers of a sign bar. The height gauge is thus used to obtain two readings for either of the rollers of a sign bar. If h is the difference in the height and L is the distance between the roller centers of the sign bar, then theta is equal to the sine inverse of h by L. A clinometer is a spirit level mounted on a rotary member. The angle of inclination of this rotary member with respect to base can be measured by this circular and this fine adjustment scale. It consists of a spirit level mounted on a rotary member carried in this housing. One face of the housing forms the base of the instrument. There is a circular scale on the housing, such as a circular scale having 300, and this is another vernier type circular knob on which the 60 divisions are marked. So the overall list count of this clinometer is 1 minute. The angle of inclination of the rotary member related to the base can be measured by circular scale. The scale may cover the whole circle or only part of it. Clinometers are generally used to determine the angle included between the two adjacent faces of a workpiece. The base of the instrument is placed on one of the surface and rotary member is adjusted till zero reading of the bubble is obtained. The angle of rotation is then noted on the circular scale against the index. Let us see how to measure the angle by using this clinometer. Initially, if you observe, this mark is coinciding with the 0 of this circular scale. Value of smallest division for the circular scale is 1 minute. We have to rotate the circular scale by using this knob. Now we will place such type of the component here. We have to measure the angle of this surface and this surface, means this we have to measure this included angle. Now we will keep this object here. On this object we will place this clinometer. Now here if you observe, this marking is coinciding with 0, as well as this marking is also coinciding with 0. Now to measure this angle, we have to turn if you observe, the scale is also moving, and at the same time this spirit level is also changing its position. We have to move it until Now if you observe, this bubble is moving. Now it is just moved to this direction. So again we have to reverse the rotation so that this bubble will come at a central position. Again it is moved to somewhat left side. Now the bubble is at exactly central position. Now we can read the angle. Now the angle is, first read this. Now this line this mark just crosses the 9th division. So 9 degree is a complete reading, and if you observe here, this mark is in between 10 and 15. Again it is in between the 14 and 15. So the 14 is a complete reading. So 9 degree and 40 minute is the reading shown by this clinometer. Thus in this way we can measure the angle of this component by using the clinometer. Angle decker is a type of autocollimator. It consists of a microscope, objective lens, and two scales engraved on a glass screen, which is placed in the focal plane of the objective lens. One of the scale, called datum scale, is horizontal and fixed. It is engraved across the center of the screen and is always visible in the microscope eyepiece. Another scale is an illuminated vertical scale fixed across the center of the screen, and the reflected image of the illuminated scale is received at right angles to this fixed scale, and the two scales in the position intersect each other. Thus, the reading on illuminated scale measures the angular deviation from one axis at a 90 degree to the optical axis, and the reading on the fixed datum scale measures the deviation about an axis mutually perpendicular to the other two. Thus, the changes in angular position of the reflector in two planes are indicated by change in the point of intersection of the two scales. Reading from the scale are read direct to 1 minute without the use of a micrometer. The whole optical system is enclosed in a tube which is mounted on an adjustable bracket. The adjustable bracket is attached to a flat left reflective base as shown in the figure.
Angle Decker. Angle Decker is a small variation of the autocollimator. This instrument is used to measure small angles with high degree of precision. It is used for various applications, such as precision alignment, verification of angle standards, and detection of angular movement, among others. This video will cover the followings about the Angle Decker. 1. Construction. 2. Working. 3. Uses. If you are new to ADTW, click on the subscribe button below and turn on the notification to get all the updates from our channel. Construction of Angle Decker. It consists of following parts: light source, prism, glass screen graticule, illuminated scale, which is engraved on the glass screen, collimating lens, base, on which the workpiece is placed, datum scale, which is also engraved on the glass screen, eyepiece. Working of the Angle Decker. The light beam is directed from the light source. This light passes through the prism. After passing through the prism, it passes through the glass screen graticule. On the glass screen graticule, there is a scale. The light beam carries this image of the illuminated scale and passes through the collimating lens and falls onto the reflecting surface of the workpiece. After getting reflected from the workpiece, it is refocused by the lens in the field of view of the eyepiece. While doing so, the image of the illuminated scale would have undergone a rotation of 90 degrees with respect to the optical axis. In the field of view of microscope, there is another datum scale fixed across the center of screen, and the reflected image of the illuminated scale is received at right angle to this fixed scale, and the two scales in this position intersect each other. The interaction of illuminated scale with the datum scale gives the measure of angular deviations of the workpiece surface. Thus, the angular deviations up to 1 minute can directly be read without the use of micrometer. Let us see how to read the angular deviation. Initially, the scale is observed. The light beam strikes on the base of the instrument and two scale intersect with each other at some point. Here the zero reading is noted. We can see that the vertical scale intersect at 20th division. Now object is placed on the base and again we observe in the eyepiece. We can see that vertical scale is shifted towards left and it is intersecting at 40th division. Therefore the angular deviation is equal to 40 minus 20, which is equal to 20 minutes. Uses of the angle decker. 1. Measuring angle of a component. 2. Checking the slope angle of a V-block. 3. To measure the angle of cone or taper gauge. Hope you have understood the angle decker. If you are new to ADTW, click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification to get all the latest updates from this channel.
The angle gauges were developed by Dr. Tomlinson in 1941, which enable any angle to be set to the nearest 3 seconds. These are the pieces of a hardened and stabilized steel. The measuring pieces are lapped and polished to a high degree of accuracy and flatness. They are 75 mm long and 16 mm wide and are available in 2 sets. One set consists of 12 pieces and a square block in a 3 series of values of angle, such as 1 degree, 3 degree, 9 degree, 27 degree and 41 degree, 1 minute, 3 minute, 9 minute and 27 minute, and last it is a 6 second, 18 second and 13 second. Another set contains 13 pieces and a square block, in which only the piece of 3 seconds is added. Each angle gauge is accurate to within 1 second and is marked with the engraved V-type symbol, which indicates the direction of the inclined angle. These gauges, together with a square block, can be so rung that any angle between 0 to 360 degree can be set. Each angle gauge is a wedge. Thus, two gauges with their narrow ends together provides an angle which is the sum of the angles of the individual gauges. Subtraction of angles is obtained when the narrow ends are opposed as shown in the figure. Each angle gauge is marked with an engraved V, which indicates the direction of an included angle. When the angles of an individual angle gauge are to be added up to, then the V of all should be in a line, and when any angle is to be subtracted, its engraved V should be in a other direction. The practical uses of angle gauges. Angle gauges are widely used in industries for quick measurement of angles between two surfaces. A frequent use of these gauges is to check whether the component is within its tolerance angle or otherwise. Where the angle is to be measured exceeds 90 degree, the use of a precision square becomes essential. Limitations of angle gauges. By combining or ringing angle gauges, angle could be made, but the block formed by combination of a number of these gauges is rather bulky and cannot always be conveniently applied to a work. So they are used as a reference along with the other angle measuring devices. Secondly, errors are easily compounded when angle blocks are run in combination. An angle of 33 degree, 9 minutes and 15 seconds is to be measured with the help of the following standard angle gauges, which is shown in the here. Now we have to select the minimum number of angle gauges required to obtain the angle of above stated 33 degree, 9 minutes and 15 seconds. From the angle gauges having a marking of a degree, to get an angle of a 33 degree, we have to select first 27 degree, then add of a 9 degree, so that we will get the 36 degree, and again from this we have to subtract an angle gauge of a 3 degree, so that we will get 33 degree. Next, to set an angle of a 9 minute, already the piece of a 9 degree is available, so we can select it directly. Then last, to set an angle of a 15 degree, for this we have to select an angle gauge of 18 seconds and subtract 3 seconds, so that we will get an angle of 15 seconds. Thus the 6 angle gauges are required to build up the given angular dimension, and we have to arrange all these angles in such a way that we will get the required angle.